Hey, this is Xavier Gamble, the social justice warrior in training, here to talk about autism. This is the Autistic Talk. Here are 5 things. If you know someone who has autism, who's autistic, who's on the autistic spectrum, here's the 5 things they need. And by the way, I'll say a little bit of the different autism spectrums, the levels. There's level 1, level 2, level 3. Level 3 is the highest. Level 2 is in the middle. They can talk, but they really can't talk all that fluently, and they stutter and they mumble and they always ask a lot of questions. All people with autism do, but they seem to ask the questions the most when they get to a certain age. They don't stop asking. Level 1 people, they are nonverbal. They really can't communicate. They cannot say verbally with their voice, with their words, with their mouth, what they want exactly. And they're always being physical, touching things and doing stuff and just keeping to themselves and repeating themselves. They can be verbal, but not as much. So I'm level 3, by the way. I can talk, I communicate with everyone else, but it doesn't make me no different from another person with a disability. It doesn't make me no better or no different than anyone else around here. I just learn differently. So, because a lot of people with autism are visual learners. Not all of us, but a big certain number of us, probably like less than 42% of us are visual learners. When we see something, that's how we figure it out. That's how we learn. That's how we remember stuff. So anyway, here are the 5 things people with autism need. 1, put them in sign language as soon as possible. Sign language, since a lot of people with autism don't start communicate until later on, or it takes them longer, and it's easy for them to want to physically touch something, teach them sign language, because sometimes they don't want to talk. They want to be in their head and not say nothing and just think about what they want to think about. Teach them sign language. Number 2, put them in acting class as soon as possible. That way they can learn to balance out what they're feeling, what they're thinking, and what they want to do. And they can actually take the moment to actually take action, but not rush into it. Just get it done. And they can know what to do in the right scenario when they're in a group of people. Let's say if your mom's at a meeting, if you're waiting out in the hall, you're thinking about something, you're obsessed with it, you see one thing, you get startled because of it, then you just rush in. You don't know what to do with it. Even if you do understand it's not nothing bad, you're still obsessed with asking your mom, what is this? What is this? What is this? And by the time you ask your mom, that person you saw do a certain thing walks away. You don't know if it's good or bad. You just want to obsess with it. So acting will help them navigate the scenarios in real life situations and social aspects, especially in work related scenarios and being professional, introductions, even. There's many places. Let's spend life is like a job. There's many ways you can introduce yourself and introduce yourself amongst other people. So sign language is one of them. Number 2. That's number 2. Number hmm, Number 3, give them animals, pets. Always have an animal around them. 'Cause I know for personal fact, people with autism, we love to always be around animals because they can't are like us. They are there, but they cannot express themselves like we can verbally. Even though we have words, a dog has no words. All they do is bark and moan and whine. But we are a trail of emotions, and with animals bring the best out of us, and we bring the best out of them. Even though I don't think dogs necessarily really need us to bring the best out of them, because dogs are always one emotion. They stick to it, know how to advocate, and do the best they can to advocate, even though they can't talk with their body language and things they do. So always have a pet around them. We easily connect to animals. We love them because of the way they are. We feel the innocence and the care of them. We always want to connect to an animal, so we connect to an animal first before we learn how to connect to another human being. Well, we pay more attention to an animal than a human being, and people, should I say. So always have a pet or an animal. So of course, therapy dogs, if you want to call it that. Always have an animal, whether it's anything, whether it's a rabbit, a dog, a cat, even a lizard, like a gecko. Maybe not a gecko, probably like, what do you call those big lizards? Iguanas, yes. But I recommend having a cat or a dog, to be honest with you. It will help them and navigate them. But sometimes, they can act like the animals themselves, so watch out. There's a pro and a con to everything. But I'm just talking about the pros. Number 4, give them an emotional stone. Emotional stone is always a good thing to have. It will help their emotions. It's good for them to have an emotional stone around them to help navigate their emotions and use it the right way. I know it's an acting class, but this will definitely help if they don't have acting classes or anything to do with acting available. Of course, it's all people always improvise nowadays and watch what other people do on YouTube. And they improvise, make their own acting, own scripts. Most of you. But I do also recommend the 5th thing, hypnotherapy. Hypnotherapy, if you don't do acting, if you do acting or have this, And whether you have an animal or not, it is just therapeutic. Obviously, hypnotherapy for psychologists and no therapists. It's the best thing for them to have hypnotherapy. But remember this, I'll say this, do not depend on hypnotherapy 100%. Just use it enough just to open the doorway and a walk 2 feet in, but do not use it to walk all the way in to lead you to the finish line, to the promised land. Hypnotherapy is great. It will help your good habits, your bad habits. You recognize what you have once you're off it, but recognize that you can't have it because hypnotherapy brings what you have in you out of you when you're with other people. So hypnotherapy, those are my 5 things, and I'll explain to you more about autism and why I explain these things because I have autism myself. So that is it. Bye for now. Social justice warrior out. That is the autistic talk. We're autistic. We all are. Let's autism out of here and let's function together. Autistic talk. Bye for now. Xavier Gamble, social justice aware. This has been a social justice announcement of autism. Bye.